All right. So let's see. We have ODN here with Shaman and Hunter up against Assassin Jack, Paladin and Shaman. Oh, that is wonderful. I hope everybody else is hearing that too, not just me. Was everybody hearing that or just you?
No, that was just on my phone.
Oh, bummer. Okay, well, everybody just missed out on a really excellent Skrillex Seinfeld mashup.
Yes, if you Google what if dubstep just had the Seinfeld theme song instead of a drop, it will show up. It's the best song ever made.
Yep. So yeah, back here to Odeon and Assassin Jack, getting towards the end of the losers bracket, climbing back into the winners bracket. I think we saw Assassin Jack on stream a little earlier. Odeon also played round one of this tournament from the car on his ride up from Manchester. So
yep, they were running a little late, so they played from the car. It's pretty impressive.
Yep.
I would have been so afraid of dropping. I've been like, nope, we're stopping the second I get good signal.
Yep, you get that catch-22. You have to wait and find the good signal, and then you don't arrive at the tournament ever, and then it's
yeah, it's tough.
It is tough. But yeah, we've seen some good stuff today. I think we know that Odeon is on mid-range Hunter. Don't really know what Assassin Jack is on for Paladin and Shaman. Likely it's aggro Shaman.
I believe he's on the Zoth Paladin, and I assume they're both on aggro Shaman.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting because like the ladder has very much developed where everyone's more mid-range now.
Yeah, the Evolve Shaman has really taken over. The Twin Emperor without Cthulhu deck. Which is a pretty excellent meta deck. Warlock ban, Warrior ban.
We got Assassin Jack either having a seizure or waving at the camera.
Yeah. I'm really glad that the fire extinguisher is featured prominently in all of these. Okay,
Yep, safety first.
So, yep, it does look like that's going to be N'Zoth Paladin, and we're going to have mid-range Hunter here. Those are all, every card we've seen so far is incredibly telling.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, yes. I will say, I don't see the purpose of running a Harvest Golem in the Zoth Paladin. If you're already getting back Tyrion and Sylvanas, do you really need a 2-3?
I think a lot of people are concerned about the early to mid game, and they are like, I need a 3-drop. Like, I just need one.
I guess. And there's not really any great 3-drops for Control and Paladin right now, are there?
Not really, because Muster's gone, right?
Yeah.
Shielded Minibot's gone, so you don't really have a ton to fill that niche. So I think I do see why people run it. Stampeding Kodo from Odeon there.
Yeah.
No, from Assassin Jack.
I'd say
no,
Kodo.
Odeon. I was right the first time.
Kodo was probably one of the defining cards for the first 3 weeks of the meta. And it's still good, but it's not what it once was.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I Stampeding Kodo'd a 2/6 Bloodhoof Brave,
Be pretty rich?
I'd be pretty rich.
Yeah, I was running 2 because, well, initially like I wasn't playing any, and then I built this Hunter list, except instead of the Fiery Bats, I played double Doomsayer. And it was amazing.
I think that so the Doomsayer is an interesting choice. I think it is actually pretty good in the mid-range Hunter, even though it's not typically what you think of.
Yeah, it's a very, like, there's just some board states where you're like, all right, I play this, and you can't beat it. And it's very rough to come back from.
So what does he taunt up here? The wolf, probably, right?
I think you do, and then you kill that. It's unfortunate, but at least it leaves you with a board that's not empty after Consecration.
Right.
Although I could see some merit. No, that's the right play. Yeah, this is an unfortunate. Like, that's not a great Kodo.
Ooh, he gets to play Bow and Freezing Trap, potentially?
Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable play. And just push base damage right now.
Yep. That's a lot of face damage. He probably feels pretty good about that play.
He's got Lethal next turn.
He does.
His opponent, he has to keep or something. in order to...
Well, no, he can Pyromancer Consecrate, or Pyromancer Equality.
I did not see the Equality. That does help. Still,
it's not awesome. And he's only at 6 mana. So he's looking at Keeper, maybe? Meanwhile, Odian just gets to flood 2-drops onto the board.
Yes. Unfortunately, Alec's rough these days because your opponents are running 10 drops.
Right, yep. Yeah, he just pushes that face damage. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about that 1/1.
Nah, and I don't blame him. He's already seen a Pyromancer, so you're less worried about like one of your 3/2s getting chipped down in range of the 1/1.
Yep.
And if it's Consecration, you're losing them both anyway.
Yep. So he is dead here? He's dead here.
Unless he can Azure Drake into something.
Azure Drake into Forbidden Healing?
For 5?
Doesn't take him...
But nope, that won't do it. Yeah, mid-range Hunter. I feel like the mid-range Hunter matchup against N'Zoth Paladin is generally pretty good.
Well, it definitely depends. I think there are a lot of positions where the mid-range Hunter can just run out of gas. And what N'Zoth Paladin is really good at is if you don't kill it on turn 6 or 7, it has that inevitability that pretty much no other deck in the format can compete with right now.
That's true. I just feel like in the matchup, you've got enough death rattles and like stuff that is resilient that you can do decently during the mid game when they should be starting to take over, and then you can just call the wild and shut the door.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That being said, obviously if the game does go too late, then N'Zoth Paladin will just run over every deck that isn't N'Zoth Priest.
So what do you feel about the aggro Paladin versus aggro Shaman versus N'Zoth Paladin? Because that's something that they'll have to deal with eventually.
Yeah, I think if he's the burn version, like if you're the burn version of the aggro Shaman deck, I think it's a better matchup. But yeah, if it's just like the straight aggro version, I think you can run into a lot of trouble. Because playing a 7/7 is not as good when your opponent's just playing Equality.
Right.
Or is humiliating it.
Yeah, right, is hitting it with the Peacekeeper. So I think some discussion about what the next deck to play is. Assassin Jack's just waiting to reconnect.
Yeah. Hearthstone is super finicky, and being on Wi-Fi does not help.
Well, yeah, I mean, lesson learned for Fireside Gathering 2. Though I've been really impressed. A lot of the folks that have come by today have found it through the Blizzard channel and not through the PortCon Facebook, which is good because we're bringing more people to learn about PortCon and Maine competitive gaming.
Yeah.
And, props to Blizzard. Your Fireside Gathering, store locator really works.
Yeah.
So thanks, Blizzard.
Not the type of thing you think people would use very frequently, but that's very cool.
No, they, Odian had mentioned in particular that he was checking the Blizzard site pretty often, making sure that there were local events, and he was like, yeah, this one's an hour and a half away.
Nice.
So.
And he's doing well.
I mean, hopefully he picks up some of the money. I mean, we're giving $50 to first place, $30 to second place, $10 to third and fourth. Certainly not bad.
Yeah.
For the first Fireside of 2016, it's pretty good. Wonder if I should offer Assassin Jack my phone. My 3G coverage is pretty good, or maybe he's already switching to his phone.
Oh yeah, it looks like. Yeah, I was on. I played a match on my phone and it worked out just fine. The 3G coverage works in this building, which is kind of shocking when you look at it.
Yeah, considering that this place is like. I don't want to use the word literal too salaciously, but it is an actual hole in the wall.
Yes.
Definitely a hole in the wall, but it's good.
Yeah. No, it's a good space. It's very large. We got enough space. It's great. We're going to have enough room coming this weekend for MCG Arena to hold all 100 Smash players that show up, and hopefully we get a solid 40 for Street Fighter. Should be a great tournament. If you guys would play any Street Fighter, Super Smash 4, Melee, or 64, we're running tournaments for all of those, and they all have a $100 pop bonus involved to try to make it interesting. And if we hit 100 people with Smash 4, we'll be adding an additional 100 to that pop bonus. So we're very excited for that tournament.
Yeah, so if you're excited to win $50 playing Hearthstone,
Yeah, last tournament we had payout for first place in Smash 4 was just over $150. So with any luck, come this weekend, we'll be paying first place somewhere around $250.
yeah,
So practice up, get good, show up.
yeah, get good, Scrubs. So it looks like we're ready to get back into the match here. So it's gonna be Nizaf. Oh, here's your mid range.
Yeah, love it.
All right. Yeah, ditch those 5 drops. You don't want them. Oops.
Right bad. I love Valiant though. I think Valiant was one of those like really well designed cards for Shaman.
So I don't play a lot of mid-range shamans. Maybe you can give me some insight here. When you're looking to sequence your hand like Odian, do you play Flame Juggler into Spirit, or do you play Totem Golem into Flame Juggler?
So normally, assuming you have a hand like this, right now you would do Totem Golem because you can do a second Totem Golem, and that's the best starting opener. If you hadn't drawn that, I probably would have done Flame Juggler into Totem Golem because that lets you do a turn 4 1 mana overloaded Feral Spirits, which sets you up for a turn 5 3 mana play. Which lets you cast like a Hex or Hero Power plus a Rock Biter or a Mana Tithe Totem or a whatever the 3/2 is that summons a random totem.
Oh, okay.
So like 3 mana is a valuable number, whereas if you go the other way, 4 mana is not super useful.
Gotcha.
So there's no point in being not overloaded on 4.
So that's that's why when I look at my win percentages and all that kind of stuff, I have like 10 ladder wins on Shaman.
I have, I think, single-digit ladder wins on Druid to this day. So if I ever play Druid, you can help me out there.
Well, I don't play a ton of Druid. Also Warrior. I have 2 Warrior wins. I had a quest once, and I was like, I'm going to play Patron until I get 2 wins. And it took me all afternoon because I just don't care for it. It seems like an early equality.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, I guess he would have been punished by that Flame Tongue Totem, so maybe it's fine.
Yeah, and now he's got the True Silver to clean this up, which puts him in a good place.
I guess he does have a ton of cards here.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't... He'd have to consecrate in order to answer the Valiant if the Valiant comes down this turn.
But do you just run the Valiant out? I don't think you do.
It's not ideal. Oh, that was the perfect roll, because now it's going to probably force out the consecrate. I think you would in that situation only because you know your opponent's just burned an equality. They can't kill it with True Silver, so you're going to get a free hero power with it out, and you have 5 mana, and with that hand, you kind of need to be forcing action.
Right.
But drawing the Mana Tithe actually was very, very good for him. And now it's incredible. Because obviously it pumps 3 different minions. That exposes him to Consecrate, which is kind of problematic.
Yeah, this is easy. I think you trade your 1/1 into the... No. Put the 1/1 into the 3/4 first.
Yeah, I think that would have been correct. You just want that transformed. You're not looking for any value off of the 1 damage.
No. I think you're much better off having a 5/5.
Absolutely.
Though, it looks like Ragnaros is coming down next turn, which is going to be pretty sweet.
Yes, Doctor 2.
Yep, and a free thing from below.
I think you go all in.
Do you think you play the Flame Tongue Totem?
I'd hold Flame Tongue for next turn, because next turn you've got 9 mana, so you can go Valiant, Flame Tongue, Hero Power.
Now, do you think it was correct to have... see, if he had a 5/5, he'd be in a much better spot.
Yes, absolutely. He's still in a pretty good... Like, it's not an awful board state.
Oh, he picked up a second Consecrate.
Oh, that actually changes things. I mean, I think it doesn't change what you end up having to do, but it does change how this board plays out.
Yep, it's not a bluff Valiant.
Yeah. Luckily, the golem's still at 3 health. Or
The thing from below?
the thing from below is still at 3 health, which is very important as far as that consecrate's concerned.
Yeah, the consecrate is not like 100% impactful here, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, because he still has to clear the 1/1 now, which is technically also a 3/1 because he waited. Gives him a chance to roll a healing totem, which could be a massive swing.
Yeah, I think things would be going a lot better for Assassin Jack if he had if he traded his 1/1 and had a 5/5, because that whole last turn, the 1/5 is dead, so he can consecrate and then kill the Valiant.
Yeah, and I think this turn he had to rock biter his face to clear the
Corrupted Heal Bot? Yep.
Because like keeping that Trog is an additional 5 damage this turn.
So he plays Ragnaros?
Humility plus Ragnaros.
Yeah, but then he gets hexed.
Yeah. And the humility does not do much because of the Flame Tongue Totem. He gains 8, which, I mean, he can weather the storm, but Thunderbluff Valiant gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even actually have to hex if he doesn't want to. He can just rock biter his 6/2. Yeah, which is what he's going to do.
Oof. Yeah, I think Odian is pretty close to putting this game away.
Yeah, a top deck to N'Zoth brings back, a Corrupted Heal Bot. And he's probably going to think that's going to help, but if he plays that...
Oh, and then the Hex is going to get him.
Yep, that's just game.
Hex going to give it to you. Turbine healing himself back to 16. He may as well.
Yeah, it's better than Hero Power, but even then, he's still taking 10. He's taking 14 from totems alone. Thunderbolt Valiant will take over a game. That card is so strong if it's not killed or silenced almost immediately.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a 6/2 Stoneclaw totem.
Oof.
Nicely played by both players, though. That was a good game.
That was a good game. I think it was just the tiniest of mistakes that snowballed.
Yeah, I think had he had that 5/5 a turn earlier, that could have been a big difference for Assassin Jack in that game.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, Thunderbluff Valiant doing work.
Yes, it does.
Definitely
Love that
doing
card.
work.
We'll get another matchup on stream for you guys in just 1 minute. We just got to go figure out who our next setup is.
All right, so now losers semifinals. Both players here guaranteed $10. Going to get a refund of their entry fee, make it worth their while. Odeon running it back with Shaman and Hunter. Shaman, we know, is that mid-range deck we just saw with the incredibly powerful Thunderbluff Valiant, which is going to be pretty sweet. Warlock was Zoo, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe it was Zoo.
And I'm actually really excited. The Nuno? I actually have no idea how to
Queno?
Queno?
He's running Druid, though, so props to him.
Yeah. He's Druid, Paladin, Warlock. I have not seen him playing all day, so I'm really excited to see what he's been doing.
Yeah. I find it very frustrating sometimes, but the Druid deck that just plays like all of the optional cards, the new Legendary.
Oh, with Fandrel, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just like Violet Teachers. I love that deck. I think it's very cool. But I have on multiple occasions had them have double Innervate openings on me. And double Innervate Fandrel into Nourish is really hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, leading off with Fandrel and doing anything is ridiculous. I mean, for 1 mana, making 2 1/1s and dealing 2 damage.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. That's strictly better than On the Hunt. Well, they don't make beasts, so maybe it's not strictly better.
Very, very close, though. And then Wrath.
And
4
Wrath.
mana draw card. Or, yeah,
4 damage draw card. Nuno also wanted us to let you know that he is sponsored by McDonald's.
Oh, it's good to know.
Speaking of sponsors, what was it? Yogi Bo's hooking us up here. You've seen in the stream here the Yogi Bo play mats, very soft, squishy things. Keep your laptop or your tablet nice and plush. Rest your hands on it after a long day of Hearthstone. They also make pretty good plain pillows.
Oh,
so,
that makes sense, actually.
yeah, because they're squishy, so you squish them into your carry-on, and then you get a nice little plain experience.
Yeah. No, it seems like it'd be nice for like just like sitting on the couch and just like having your tablet, having it propped at a nice angle.
Totally. Yeah, because I play Hearthstone pretty much exclusively on mobile, so I am always. Whoa, Nourish Wrath Cthulhu.
All right, so we got Cthulhu Druid. I like it.
I like it. I like it a lot. A lot of variants, I feel like, sometimes in the Cthulhu decks.
Yes. I mean, it's unfortunate because you have to run like suboptimal cards to power up your Cthulhu. So if you play a bunch of suboptimal cards all game, you start to fall behind. And if you don't get that Cthulhu to get you back in it.
I mean, the Dark Akroa is definitely a feather in Cthulhu Druid's cap, which I think is pretty helpful for them.
Is that the 4 mana 4/10 for all intents and purposes?
No, Dark Crow is the 6/8 taunt for 6 or something.
Oh,
ridiculous
yes.
One.
That one's very good as well. I was thinking of the one that gets +5 health if you've got a 10/10 Cthulhu, because that card is, as a person who loves to play Rogue, a pain to deal with.
Yes.
Even with the new Shadow Strike, it's still like, oh, cool, so it's halfway.
Yeah. Odeon's got a pretty interesting start. It looks like he's going to be able to play pretty much exactly on curve. There's Fandrel.
It's going to be a very good curve at that.
So, yeah, opting for Wrath here. Maybe he's worried that if he runs the Disciple out, he's looking at...
Something
he's just
simpler.
looking at...
Mortal Coil.
Mortal Coil,
Yeah.
Thank you. Jeez. Though that Mire Keeper's going to do some work for him, I think.
Yeah, you can just Mire Keeper probably into the 2/2, be in a decent place.
I think that's a good play, yeah. Fandrel's too early to run out here, I think.
Yeah, and he's got nothing in his hand that abuses its power.
Oh, you know what? I bet he's waiting on the Disciple to combo with Brand. Nope, I guess he's just going to play it right here.
Yeah, I mean, everything but the... Like, he could also try to combo Bran with the Mire Keeper.
Can he afford to wait until 7 mana, though?
I mean, next turn he can do it in 2 turns, because next turn he can go Wild Growth plus... Elder.
Plus the 3/4.
Yeah.
Or you could just make a 4/4.
Yeah.
Which is also pretty good.
No, that's a solid turn. His opponent's pretty much forced to clear it.
Leroy. That's
a bit early for Leroy, but it'll be good.
I mean, with Power Overwhelming, that's not an insignificant amount of burst.
No, not at all.
And he probably can add a second Imp Gang boss to the field here.
Yeah. He can clear the Azure Drake and have 2 Imp Gang bosses on board. That's a solid place to be.
That's a really good place to be. Yeah, that's a good position to be in.
Still.
Ooh, how does Innervate change his turns?
He
can brand Mire Keeper, make a ton.
He can also use Fandrill plus Mire Keeper.
Oh, he can Fandrill plus Mire Keeper. Why choose one? You can have both.
And he's at a high enough life total that his opponent can't just like ignore this board and go face.
No, and we see that Odian has a lot of options in his hands.
Yeah.
Opting to Dark Iron. Ooh.
That was lucky.
I guess I agree with that assessment. And then, yep, clear that.
Yeah, puts him in a good position because now Gweno's back to scrapping for board position, and once again he's got these Cthulhu minions which just don't do a lot. It's like, yeah, he's got 8 mana, which is solid. He can play a bunch.
So he can clear out the Knife Juggler. I think that's priority number 1.
Absolutely.
If he picks all 3 disciples, that's not terrible.
No, it's a solid board state, but the risk is his opponent has 8 damage currently already on board.
He's thinking about that brand. So he's going to brand, Disciple, Twilight Elder. I think that's okay sequencing.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is definitely a very valid line of play. It makes sure his Cthulhu's solidly above 10. So if he does draw it does save him.
And although Odian still has that pretty scary burst, it's interesting because he still can't ignore the board. And his trades are not super favorable.
He's just burning the Power Overwhelming. Oh, interesting. I wonder where this is going for the Twilight? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he assumes that based on his hand, he's got the better long game.
Is he gonna Forbidden Ritual?
I wouldn't win.
I think it's probably a little early for that, but.
Yeah, I suppose a swipe would be very problematic if that's what you went for.
Yeah, you can't just put out a Forbidden Ritual when swipe is a card. See?
Turns out.
So, unfortunately, and then he's going to
clear the Dark Iron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And next turn he's got a cantrip now.
Yep.
So he can dig another card deeper.
So what does Odian do now? His Druid opponent has 1 card left in his hand. He's already seen a swipe. Now he runs out Forbidden Ritual.
Yeah. Hero Power, Forbidden Ritual. Attack his face for 1.
Corruption? Is Corruption a thing he does?
Oh no, he can get this to 4 power now.
And then he's Forbidden Ritual for 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
He played the abusive on the wrong side, but that's me nitpicking.
Well.
It probably doesn't matter.
So you still Wild Growth here, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're looking for that swipe.
There's 0 harm in it. Because you can still play your spell in hand and hero power.
Yep.
Or not.
Or you swipe. Look at Odian's smirk, though. He knows that now that second Forbidden Ritual is safe to just create a million guys.
It's less valuable now, though. Because, he doesn't have any way to significantly impact those guys.
Well, he still has one. He still has a Defender of Argus in his deck somewhere.
That is true.
And he also now has a huge board.
Yeah, but it'll take most of that board to deal with the Druid.
With the Druid, yeah.
That being said.
So.
Or
Is he just going to rag?
Going deep. I respect it. We all know it's hitting the Argent Squire, right?
I predict face. No. That corruption finally paying dividends. 6. It's not lethal.
It's 15. Even that only makes it 17.
Yep.
Only 16 actually, because you'd have to trade a minion to make space on board.
Yep.
He can clear Rag though, and I think that's probably what you have to do.
No, he's just going to use corruption on Rag.
Huh, I guess.
He's going to use the Power of Overwhelming to push damage on another turn. I mean, think of how easily he's going to be able to clear the Druid.
That is true. I think probably Odian really wants to draw a second one. Like double Druid right now, probably is like he's the best.
Double Druid is good. Innervate?
That's what you get for playing Druid.
Yeah, it's a high risk, high reward proposition. Yeah, you just armor up.
Does Rag still shoot? Okay,
yeah,
it
he
does.
still shoots. Because he doesn't die until the beginning of...
Oh, he dies at the beginning of the turn. Okay.
Right. So that is still not lethal. I think it's at least a little dangerous to continue the life tap with Cthulhu.
That is true. Cthulhu's got 15.
Though maybe he's just like, well, at this point, even if he Cthulhu's, Leroy Jenkins is going to run through the whelp farm. Nourish.
Nourish into Reno? Let's
He
make this a game. He's definitely not a Reno list. Oh, that's a card though.
That's a card.
Is it enough?
Innervate Emperor? That's some big butts.
Yeah. Really, that's the other payoff you get. Like, Cthulhu and Emperor are your two payoffs, I'd say, with this deck, so it's nice that he got one of them. Whether or not it's enough,
So
I'm bad at counting.
He doesn't have lethal.
And it's going to take most of his board to clear these two.
Right. But he can clear one for free with Leroy.
Are you willing to give up that burst, though?
No, probably not.
Like, I think Leroy's how you win. And he's in an unfortunate spot where, like, if he wants... He can, I guess, wipe one and say go.
Yeah.
He can't wipe the other one, so he kind of just has to...
Yep. Darkshire Councilman. Ooh, yeah, you trade? You trade your board?
Yeah. And got another good top deck.
Dark and Crow is really good here. Yep.
Beckoner plus hero power.
Hero power face.
And that Quano just needs to draw.
Does he have any more power overwhelmings? Or Mortal Coil is not a terrible draw.
Nope. I mean, this gets the Councilman up to a decent size, but...
I think he's going to Leroy to clear the Akroa.
I think he has to at this point. It leaves you... I mean, it puts him to 4.
It does.
He's threatening...
And he doesn't trade, yeah.
I think he has to think about it, though. Because, like, a wolf off the top kills him.
That's true.
Or...
That's the 410?
Yeah.
So
he's not dead. Because he can remove the Councilman.
Yep. He can remove the Councilman.
Play the 410 and get rid of the 1/1 if he's willing to hero power and attack it.
So that's really the question definitely is like whether or not he wants to. I think he hero power. That's really close, though.
I think you have to go face because you threaten lethal if you do. Like, it's tough. You don't die to defender. You don't die to abusive. Oh, nope, he's going for the clear.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. He's dead to power overwhelming, but I think those are all gone.
I think both are gone.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Oh. Do you take Shield Bearer? I think you do. Like, that's the play. You can't take Imp, and the egg's useless. Yep. Like, that's a terrible draw. I think you play it, though. Yeah.
Yep.
Puts you dead to...
Well played.
What do we got? Oh, wow. Yep, that's game.
Wow.
Shield Bearer.
Shield Bearer.
Who would have guessed? That was an excellent game.
That was really excellent.
Well played by both players, too.
Very well played. Sea Giant. Yep. Pack it up.
All right.
Whew. One card away.
Zoo ekes it out. Yeah, Cthulhu being the very last draw. A turn earlier and it ends it.
That was really, really great.
For anyone who thinks Hearthstone isn't complicated and challenging, that was a difficult game for both those players.
And it really, I feel like that was mostly decisions and skill as opposed to RNG. I mean, there were some clutch knife jugglers and Shield Bearer apparently.
Yeah. Turns out it's 0-4 taunt.
Yeah. That is good stuff.
Yeah, because if that had been something like Abusive Sergeant, he just would have lost.
Yep. So now we got Uther Lightbringer, Control Paladin.
Oh, matchup we saw just 2 games ago.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. I think Odian pitches his whole hand probably. Oh yeah, maybe he keeps.
I think you keep Rockbiter in case it's an aggro deck, like just in case it's like the Divine Shield Paladin. But yeah,
it's a pretty good pickup.
Hey, a shaman curving Tunnel Trug into Totem Golem. Who would have guessed? I've never seen that happen.
Do you coin Doomsayer?
I wouldn't have blamed him, but I think, like...
Now you just play Doomsayer.
The issue being it's...
Rock Bottom Weapon clears him.
Yeah. You can coin Humility, but... Nope, didn't coin Humility, so... Yeah, Rockbiter lets him clear this.
Look at that shaman. Not even giving himself the Rockbiter weapon, making the Totem Golem do the work.
I know.
What a lazy ass you are, Thrall.
It's teamwork, Thrall.
Peacekeeper? I like that. Develops the board a little.
Yeah.
Coin Sword maybe was better. Though maybe trying to bait out the Faceless.
Yeah. This play, however, oh, actually, the Rockbiter is good here. I was going to say it exposes him to some issues with Coin Kodo, which is probably still a solid play, but...
Coin Kodo? Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets rid of one of the 2/3, and then its body can clear the other.
Well, doesn't it... I feel like its body just gets killed by Tunnel Trog, right?
Or Tunnel Trog needs one more. Like...
But Flamely Faithless. Well, maybe...
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no, he'll be too overloaded.
He'll be too overloaded, right. So he can't play that.
So let's see what Dr. 3 gives him.
Dr. 3.
When he gives you Totem Golem, it ends the game. Oh, nope. Just opting for another Totem Golem, which does give him 5 power. He's pushing a lot of damage. And the quality would be really nice draw. Does he have to humility that 5/3? It'd be really disheartening.
He might have to.
Going for coin.
Yep. He has humility. Kodo.
I think you Kodo first there. Because if it kills either the Tunnel Trog or the Wolf Spirit, it's good for you. Whereas that way, you had to hope it gets Wolf. Which, I mean, it did.
Alright, did you bring some fish?
He brought the best fish.
Yes, he did. He did. It turns out he...
Yeah, you see that sigh and lean back? That was the good fish.
He brought the fish. Whew, man.
That was one of the few draws that would help here, but it's still gonna be rough.
Yep. Clears out the board.
Oh yes, he can. I didn't realize he could Forbidden Healing for 0. That's actually very fortunate. However,
unfortunately, this
that was a good top deck too.
That's a good way to spend 7 mana.
Yes.
That's a really good way to spend 7 mana. Well, does he run 2 humility?
I think he has to find an equality.
Yep.
Like at least next turn, this lets him Solemn Vigil for fairly inexpensive, but
boom.
Flame Juggler is at least a little risky here because if it hits the Acolyte, that's unfortunate. 1 and 3. You can see Queno's pretty upset with how the RNG's been going this game.
Yeah. I mean,
and actually, I think that Stoneclaw Totem might lock this game up. Because it prevents him from drawing with Acolyte.
well, you can Spellbreaker it. Yeah. Ragnaros, Light Lord, N'Zoth, Sylvanas, all good cards.
Just not on this board.
Oh,
Yep.
Flame Tongue Totem. Or just Lightning Bolt to face.
Yeah, either way. Aggro Shaman, still a good deck, turns out.
Yep. Oof. That was a good... That first game was just... That was out of this world.
Yeah. Alright guys, we're going to get Losers Finals on stream in just 1 second.
That first game was ridiculous. Yeah.